You getting ready to roll? Hey, Jake, can you hear me?
I was talking to you the whole time, but my mic was muted.
Okay. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. I got a couple to wrap, and I'm going to do a barber pole. And I figured while I wait for a few people to show up, I'd try to bunch a Salomon.
Sweet.
I haven't done a Salomon since the one that I box pressed.
Have you smoked that one yet?
No. No, I've smoked a few of the Salomons that I've made, but not the box pressed one yet. I really want to give that one time. Give it the best chance at burning well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm just going to do a quick blend of Piloto V. This is Ligero. Although half this bag is like that's Viso to me, and that's clearly much thicker, and they came in the same bag. But
Yeah. Is that was that from where was that from?
this is leaf only.
Yeah.
But I've had the same issue with every retailer that I've bought leaf from. I've even had a conversation with them about it with their customer service, and they say, well, priming is subjective because each sorter is going to sort differently. So, and I sent a
I
video, and I was like, this is like a Seco leaf, and this is like a Ligero leaf, and they came in the same bag. So while, yes, there may be some truth to the fact that priming can be subjective, this is ridiculous.
I think it was from Leaf Only. Uh this goes back now a couple years ago. I had ordered um some Cameroon uh wrapper, some Cameroon Seiko, and some Cameroon binder. And the it was as if the binder was almost predominantly in better shape than the wrapper leaf was. The Seiko was like a cross between the binder and the wrapper. And it was, and I don't like. I think I know why they classified them that way. Like the Seiko was thin, but it was also larger leaves that were pretty pliable and didn't have a whole lot of holes in them.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway, but I like I love the leaf. Like when you find pieces that are usable, I don't care what bag they came out of. Like I'm gonna wrap a cigar with it if it looks like wrapper.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. I have a whole bag of Jalapa Viso filler that I wrap with. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I've been I had a pretty good batch of Dominican binder that I had like 2 or 3 pounds of that just recently kind of ran out on me. And burned well. It was thin, it was consistent, didn't have a lot of holes in it. And I was rolling the other night and missed having it because some of the other binder I have is thick and chunky or has a bunch of holes or is pretty tattered. And
Yeah,
so I started going through some of my Viso bags and just using that as binder.
absolutely. Priming is or rather grading, is also subjective completely. And I understand why there's discrepancies, because they can't sort every leaf from every pound that they send out. They've got bales of this stuff that's already pre-classified.
Correct.
And so they just go with whatever the farm says it was.
Yeah, and like if you were a cigar manufacturer, you'd hire somebody to sit down and grade this stuff for you.
Exactly. Exactly. Which is what I have to do myself. And that's,
Yeah.
well, we all have to do ourselves. All right. Because I'm using, on topic, I'm using filler for binder right now. This is that jalapa. I could wrap with that. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a good looking leaf.
And I'm going to use it as a binder. I've got a whole bag of this. I probably have 2 pounds of this that I use. That's filler that I use as binder. And then this is leaf only.
That was
it was just
only?
the batch,
Okay.
right? This is the next batch, because I bought this and I was like, this is too good. I can't use this as filler. Even this, of the 2 leaves, this is the uglier one, and it's, it's got a couple small tears in it, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I might even save that as a wrapper. Go around these little tears. It's nice and dark. But this is what I got. I ordered this. It was too good. I said, I don't want to use it as filler. Let me just order some more so I have enough to separate it. And this is what I got. Fantastic filler. Not as nice as this. This piece has holes in it and whatnot, which is completely fine, but the difference is night and day, clearly. But I'm okay with it. It's beautiful leaf. I love to use it as it makes for really good wrapper. I don't remember what I've sent you as far as which blends. I use this as the wrapper for the Especial.
Okay. I've not kept track of the names.
The blue one. The blue one with the blue footbed.
I think that might have been one I had first.
Yeah. Was it oversaturated? I always worry
No.
about that.
No. No, and even that last one that I was talking to you about, like it split, but it's still smoked, right?
Oh,
Like,
good.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't I didn't share that to complain. I literally just
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody who expects every one of their cigars is going to burn perfect is delusional. I do, I take the steps. All the things that I do when I'm rolling is, with that in mind. I want it to burn as perfect as I can get it to, but of course that just doesn't happen every time. And me being me, I just constantly worry about it.
I'm not really like a cigar snob, but I have some expectations when I share my cigars with other people, that they know how to cut a cigar, know how to light a cigar, things of that nature. So
Yeah.
just because I want them to have a good experience, and
Yeah, exactly.
I've got one good buddy who likes good cigars, knows how to smoke a cigar, and has enough experience with it where he's got good, solid preferences. And so I was super reluctant several years ago to like give him one of my cigars because I didn't like they weren't good enough, or like the construction I was worried about. Well, I finally had a batch of cigars where one after the another I was like, I'm happy with these, like I'd share these, and so I was eager to get him one. And the first one I gave him split. like within 5 minutes of him smoking it. And
I don't even know
it
why
was
that.
because I had a bunch of stems in it. I specifically went through this phase where I was including a bunch of stems to like, make sure that the cigar had a nice and long ash on it, and uh, just to give it a really solid stick feel to it.
Yeah,
And anyway, I'm pretty sure that's what did it.
I put stems in most of mine as well. You know, I,
I'm more careful about it now. I
I'm
was
careful about how thick of a stem
yeah,
I
yeah,
will allow. Like I've got leaf in my hand, so it may as well be the example. I'm going to pull it from down here. Like that's a little thick. So
yeah,
take that out. What's left in there is, I think, acceptable. And so far, with my experience of smoking my own cigars, they burn well.
yeah.
So,
I agree, and I a lot of people will talk about how, well, the stems don't have much nicotine and the stems don't have much flavor, and I I think they're probably right on the nicotine content. Like I don't believe the stems have much nick in them, but from a flavor standpoint, they definitely have a distinct flavor compared to a cigar that don't, and they
absolutely.
definitely give the cigar structure.
Yeah. Well, and they give the cigar strength and body as well. If you want some good punch to a cigar, whether nicotine or flavor or what have you, then leave some stems in there. But here's the thing: you have no choice. You're going to have stems in it or veins because there's
Yep.
lateral veins through the entire body of the leaf that you can't get rid of. And they are, while they're typically smaller than the mid rib, they're exactly the same thing. So whatever flavor or body or whatever you claim it does or does not do to your cigar, those lateral veins are going to do just that.
Yeah. Yep.
Always. Oh, it's a conversation that it feels like deja vu every time I talk about it because it gets brought up so often in the community.
Well, and
But there's
what's
there's
also
always people that
interesting,
think they know because they heard it on the internet.
it also kind of depends on the community. I notice that like I wasn't in any online leaf communities at all for a very, very long time. So back in the like late 2000s, the early teens, like those communities, like the ones that like actually talked about cigar rolling, they none of them were into Badu. They were all like they recognized it as a method, but everything was like accordion is the best way to do it, and that's what you do, and so on and so forth. And
Yeah, that's really
and
strange.
now it's it's entubado. Entubado is what I see on the Facebook. It's what I see Bliss doing, and it's easier. It's easier to get a more consistent roll with entubado, in my opinion.
In my
But
opinion as well, I see where people don't agree, and I understand why, because the process that I'm going through right now of keeping everything bunched and oriented and whatnot in the right spot is a little bit difficult.
there's what was the
Keeping
other
that
thing?
piece in the middle, that piece of Lajero in the middle, that's kind of, it takes some getting used to.
There's always like slightly different takes on I don't know, like stems versus no stems, what stems do, what stems don't. And I it's one of those things that you see people get pretty dogmatic about, and it's still just it's cigar rolling, like
Yeah.
make it your own. If you don't like the way some other dude on the internet is doing it, don't do it that way. Do it the way you want to do it.
Yeah.
But then
I
don't complain if you have a bunch of problems and somebody offers you some suggestions too.
Yeah, yeah. It's tough to navigate. It really is. It's people's opinions are their greatest treasure often, and they take great offense. Too often they take great offense if you don't agree with them. I think, and that
Yeah.
causes some problems sometimes. All right. I still haven't figured out the best way to bind these, right? Because what I'm doing is I'm kind of letting the ligero stick out.
That's what I do.
Because this little ligero nub is, in the middle of the bunch there is what's going to make the little nipple. And
Yep.
so
And then
I don't need a lot
I
of binder
typically
around it.
still I typically still have like a little bit of the binder wrapped around that nub that comes out. It'll be loose, but
Yeah.
it
But the other part that I still haven't quite pinned down is the taper. How I'm going to deal with the taper, that does not feel right at all. Nothing about that feels right. Felt good in my hand, and then as soon as I started rolling it, okay.
and Jake, don't take this as me telling you what to do, but just
I
throwing an
encourage people
idea.
tell me
Like,
I encourage people to
well,
tell me what to do. There's no way to
I'm not
learn.
because I don't know that this is necessarily the best approach, but when I have a tapered uh cigar that I'm rolling, my expectation is that it legitimately tightens up the further back that you go, and I it's not necessarily what everybody wants, but that's how I roll it. So I'm gonna have I'm gonna have like the same cross section of leaf that goes through it, but it will densify as I get back to the head.
Yeah, I see what you're
Sometimes I
saying.
have problems though because when you start smoking stuff, that you get to the middle or the last third and all that moisture starts building up, and it that you can get plugs.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. So what I've done, because I would do the same thing, depending on the amount of taper. And so what I've done here, and what I've been trying to do with the Salomons in general, is allow the natural taper of the leaf to make the taper of the cigar, if that makes
Makes
any
sense.
sense at all.
Yep.
So obviously they're tapered towards the tip and they're tapered towards the base. And so I just kind of allow that to define, to naturally make the taper of the Vitola,
That does make
right?
sense. And
So
like
now we
you
have a
feel
taper
it
there.
too. Yep.
So we'll try to, now I just have to check out to see if I think we're a little dense just right at the tip there. I think that's probably, I just ripped that. You're not supposed to do that. Yeah, I think most of that is because of binder. So we'll pull that excess binder out. A little bit of, that is not a little bit of glue. Get a little bit of glue on that little crack. Let's see. I think that feels much better. So then I shoved the foot in first.
That looks
That
great.
little tear there is just screwing everything up.
that looked really good.
Yeah, not bad. I think it's going to be a little light. I think it could have been a little more dense.
Maybe a good candidate for box pressing.
Yeah, that's why I did the last one. That's my, unless I'm doing it on purpose, that's my my fallback for anything that gets a little underfilled. Just throw it in the box press. All right. Thank you. I had a couple people, I wanted to make at least one of those because I had a request. Again, I've had so many requests to make a torpedo video. And what better way? It goes from 48 to 58, and it's about 6.8 inches long in total.
Oh, that you mean? Yeah, I see. Yeah, you're talking about how to wrap the head. I gotcha.
Just the head, yeah. I have a torpedo mold that's a 46 ring, but it's not a very good mold. It was really, really cheap, and I really actually enjoy using it because I love, 6.5 by 46. But these are fun, and I want to get much better at them. So, and they have a torpedo head, so it's a perfect way to do that.
Yeah, got it.
Kind of checks both boxes,
Yep.
It's really dry in here, unfortunately. Right. How tightly do you tube up your Ligero? I get a pretty tight roll of it and kind of set it aside so it kind of holds that form. And then also, sometimes it's the Ligero will hold a lot of moisture because of its thickness. So it'll do a little bit of drying in that shape. So I don't have to worry about trying to tube it when it's too dry and it cracking into pieces.
I will actually take. So I do a couple different things. I'll either tube it up just similar to how you would Viso or Seiko, and have just have it pretty much uniform, but it can kind of spill over into the sides a little bit easier. What I've had the most luck with is if I make like 3 or 4 little cigars where I take like my thicker leaf and wrap it with a thinner leaf, and then I bunch all of those little cigars together. Does that concept make sense?
Yeah, that's what I do for the 32s.
Yeah, I
just stack them like this and then fold them and twist them together. That is thick. That's a Ligero leaf.
I'm doing like bunches inside the bunch. So like I'll take that Ligero leaf and then I'll roll it in another leaf, and then I'll do that with 2 or 3 more others, and there's probably some of my more consistent sticks.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You remember when Bliss shared one of his blends, probably, I don't know, about 2 or 3 years back.
Yeah, the Bliss blend.
Yeah. So the Nick Esteli, I think it was a Viso, that I got to make that blend with was like delicious. It was really good, but it was pretty crumbly on me. And what I started doing when I would make that blend is I would intubado everything else but that, and I would lay that on top of my binder and roll everything together. So it was almost like a double layer
Okay.
of bind,
Yeah.
but with that, like I think Dominican on the outside and that Nick Esteli like in between. And those sticks burned amazing.
I do that often with Secco. If I have a blend that has, a small amount of Secco, instead of tubing it up with the rest of the leaf, I do just like you're saying, use it almost like a double binder.
Yeah.
And lay it down kind of like you would if you were doing a scrap roll, and put your
Yep.
bunch in that and roll it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I think
exactly.
that's a fantastic method, especially if you're trying to, for me with the Secco leaf, I do it because I want it to be that outermost layer, basically, because I want my Secco to be on the outside. So if I have a lot of Viso and Ligero in a blend, which I often do because that's how I like to blend with thicker tobaccos, then and that piece of Secco needs to find its way to the outside to help everything kind of burn. That's how I accomplish that. Because then
I haven't.
you've wrapped it around the entire bunch.
Yep. That exactly. I haven't wrapped these yet, but I had I've got a bag of leftover Cameroon Seiko that's really too crumbly to do much with, and so uh, a recent grouping, I basically took my thicker Laharo leaf, and I think it was like C98 is what it was, and
Mm-hmm.
I took that crumbly stuff and I put it in the middle of the Laharo tube.
Well,
Um,
that works.
it will help, it'll help that burn, but then that's stuck in the middle of the bunch of everything else.
That
But
makes
I don't know.
sense.
I try random things. Sometimes it works.
Well, that's how you find out. I mean, if you're going to figure out like the best tricks and whatnot that nobody knows, then you got to do some weird shit to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
If it's not conventional, or if it was conventional, then it would have been done already. All right, that one I'm going to pull back out. That's too squishy on the foot. We need a little bit more right in here. I think I my length was a little off. Thought it was going to be a little bit shorter. All right. We're going to put just a little bit more. Much better. All right, we'll see how those turn out. Had someone said they really wanted to catch the stream today, and even asked for a a heads up. I gave a heads up like half an hour to 45 minutes before I came on, and then announced it when I came on here, and then decided to do a couple bunches before I wrapped, and they're still not here.
you you're recording this, right?
I am recording this, but this isn't one that I'm gonna just throw onto YouTube. Normally I would, in the studio channel, I would just record everything. Maybe edit out a couple little things. And then just toss it up as like a full session. But I'm probably going to take little tidbits from this one because I'm going to do the barber pole. And I want to have a better barber pole video on my YouTube. So if I do the barber pole and somebody ends up asking questions, then I'll just ask that person if they mind if I use their voice. If they say I prefer not to, then I'll just cut the audio. All right. Well, I'm just going to start rapping.
Go for it.
These are the last. One of these is the last cigar in the all the cigars that I'm sending out. Yours are ready, by the way. I just finished up in Photoshop the printable document for printing out the new band design.
Great.
Which is pretty close to the same as all of the others, just in a different color and little different accents.
Yeah, I've been wanting to modify my band design a lot, and I've got to be in the mood for it, you know.
Yeah, I'm doing one for Javier, for Mr. J. And
his those 38s that he did looked really good.
they did. I love the fact that his whole family is starting to roll with him. That's so awesome.
Yeah,
but I've been working.
That warms my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been working on his band design, which I didn't design. I'm just trying to put it on a band, his logo on a band for him. And he's a little picky, but I prefer somebody who's picky because, you know, obviously I want them to get what they want. But it's so hard to find time to do that.
Yeah, I also like picky people too because they usually know what they want, and if I can't do it, there's no hard feelings, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly.
it's the people who don't know what they want but are pretty good at telling you that they know what they don't want when they see it, you know.
Yeah, so then you have to make like a dozen samples. That's a massive waste of your time. And
I don't mind, you know, going through like design iterations and that, but like if I send a mold to somebody who's like, "Oh yeah, I don't care what you do," and then they get it and they're like, "Well, I didn't think you do that." I'm like, "Well,
So what you're saying is that you do care what I do,
yeah,
and this isn't it.
yeah."
This is Ecuador Corojo. I can't remember if it's from whole leaf or if it's from leaf only. But
I don't know that I have any of that.
it is really great to work with. This particular batch is pretty thin, but it rolls really, really well. It's got really good stretch, and it is pretty forgiving for how thin it is.
Yeah, that sounds great to me.
These are probably my smoothest cigars is with this particular wrapper leaf. This is the Timeless blend. So this is actually that Nika Jalapa filler that turned binder, turned wrapper as a binder. and then wrapped in this Ecuador Corojo. And it comes out so smooth. It's such a good wrapper leaf. So here's a debate that, I don't know how much of a debate it is, but it's different for everybody. Flag shape. What kind of shape do you like for your flags?
I tend to do, I guess, the teardrop shape when I'm Parejo, doing Parejo cigars. I I I guess I don't know how you do it when you put the flag. I don't know that I've paid a lot of close attention to it, but one of the things that I do is, I don't tuck the sharp end underneath the wrapper leaf.
Neither do I.
I lay it up on top.
Yep. And then
And I make sure
you're going to
that-
overlap over it with the flag.
Yeah.
I never found it
Yeah.
necessary. I don't do that either. So this is
And so
my...
then-
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good shape. That's a good shape. Go ahead. Show.
I
show me
like
and
this shape because the somebody yesterday called it a space whale, a humpback whale with no fins and no tail. I just blew it off the board. I just called it a humpback teardrop, right? And the arch in the back, when you're putting it on, I'm just going to show you without any glue. When you're putting it on, obviously, you're pulling the arch flat, and
Yep.
that tightens the counter arch, let's call it, the inside.
Yep.
Which, naturally pulls it tight over the curvature of the head.
I'll have to. I've not done it this way. I will. I
Just
will
mess
definitely
that up.
give it a try.
I like to. It helps to get that nice rounded head before you get the cap on there. I just kind of messed that up, wrinkled it up. So I am not too good to fix my mistakes after the fact. It's a mistake that I make often, actually, is just the last wrap of the wrapper leaf. I end up bumping it and
Yep. Same. And
wrinkling it all up right there. Which
Yeah,
I just
because I'll
did
put my
again, twice in a row as I'm
Yep.
fixing it. Jesus.
That's exactly how I do it too. Is I'm getting ready to do the head work, and I've got my thumb right there on the edge of that leaf.
Yep. All right. Don't touch it. All right. Yeah, so the arch and then the counter arch is what helps it to... So you don't have a lot that you're bunching up at the head. So your caps tend to be smoother.
Cylindrical. Yeah.
A lot of people will take all this excess and bunch it all down and then take their flat chevetta and smack it, and I don't do all that.
Yeah, I've tried it. It's definitely not something that I do. I actually sometimes I like to kind of leave it underneath the cap, and so I get like a little bit of a
Like a point
I don't know.
almost.
Like a nipple, so to speak.
I just put the glue on the wrong side of the wrapper. Oh man. For anybody just joining, this is the first cigar I've ever rolled. Based on the rookie mistakes that I keep making over and over again.
Jake, there's a reason I don't video myself rolling.
I'm getting used to it. I'm not very good at doing the videos. That's why I like the live. Because then I can just roll and chat. And while I do get distracted while I'm doing it, I think it's worth it because it feels more natural. When I used to try to do videos, I always felt like, like I'd mess up the take, so to speak. It was like a cut and reshoot. Where this is all candid. You just watch what happens naturally. And I like that. Watch me get glue all over my cutting board every time, over and over and over again, even though I could just simply put a spare piece of leaf down, but I never do it.
It seasons the board.
Yeah. This one is rush seasoned. I rushed the process by getting crap all over it constantly. I actually got it too wet and it warped. Because the other side is the stainless. Now see, that's got a lot of curvature to it. There's a little bit of loose stuff up there, but the wrinkles, here's the big thing, and this is how I should have said it from the beginning. The wrinkles from twisting it are really high up, and so they tend to get covered by the cap better, and that is because of the shape of the flag. If that makes any sense.
No, I get it. I'm tracking exactly. I'll for sure give it a try.
It's more, labor involved, cutting a specific shape.
In recent rolling sessions, I would say for the last year or so, my flags are, the more like ice cream cone, teardrop shape. And as I come around, instead of like trimming and twisting, I kind of continue to pull the round head of the shape and keep wrapping it around and keep tucking, almost to the point where you really, like, I do put a cap on it, but
you're almost capping it with the flag.
Exactly. Yeah. And
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I love doing that.
Yeah, I've just gravitated towards that.
I think so. Go ahead. Sorry.
Not because I think you have to do it that way or that's the right way to do it, but because I enjoy doing it that way.
That's the right answer. I don't have my lights on.
Good afternoon.
Welcome in.
How are you?
So I do that most of the time as well. I did it a little bit on this one, and you'll see the easiest way to tell when I'm doing it or anybody is doing it is when the tapered pigtail that you're making is canted off to one side, because you're pulling that radius down to finish off the cap, and it pulls that one side tight. I did it a little less on this cigar specifically because the radius of my flag was a little small. I should have made it a little bit bigger. And it wouldn't have pulled around well. So I just kind of got what I could get out of it. And I had I still have 3 full wraps on it, so I just went with that.
That's a good looking stick.
Thank you. That'll go out to, I think this one is actually just going out to somebody. Oh, I have the list right here. Nick is getting this one. This isn't a community rewards stick. This is a trade, actually. Trading a sample pack, one of each blend, for a 4-pack of the new Perdomo father and son in the Perfecto. He already sent them to me. I was like, I got to roll your cigars first, so don't send them yet. He's like, don't worry about it. I'll send them tomorrow. And then they got here in like 2 days. I'm like, okay,
Very cool.
well, I'm not going to smoke them until I send you your cigars. How about that? He's like, yeah, do whatever you want. Good guy. So I'm throwing in an extra for him and sending him a Barber Pole. Who do we have joining us today? Where is my... There we go. I don't have... Just going to open up the text chat just in case anybody didn't want to chit-chat. There we go. All right. This is a nice piece of leaf. Sometimes I force myself to use the Chivetta to make these cuts. But sometimes I'm lazy. And if I can do that with this, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, I use the tools that make the job easier. Otherwise, it's not a tool; it's an act.
I use, so I don't. You can see I've got a small, very small compared to some people, collection of Mike Fish Chivettas, which I just really enjoy using. He made this one for me a while ago. It was one of the first he made, and then recently he sent me that one my wife got for me for Father's Day, along with the board.
Beautiful.
And then he sent me this one, which was one of the first hybrids, which is essentially just that, just with a rounded over edge. And I love having one without a handle. I love having just a bunch of them just to use. Just lay them everywhere.
I like them without the handle too, and I don't put gauze on mine. I just like using it as it is.
I love having a handle as well, and that's why I love having more than one. Because this is a thinner profile handle. This is really comfortable to grab like that. And then I can kind of manipulate it a little bit better. Sometimes I hold it like this when I'm doing caps because it's like a pencil using the end.
Yep.
Where I can roll that to make the radius head of the flag. And the handle makes it feel like, like a tool, a rounded tool would in your hand.
Very cool.
I'm more used to that, I suppose.
Hey, JLR.
How you doing, bud?
Oh, not too bad. Oh, so I just got an awesome gift for Father's Day from my ex of all people.
Yeah?
Went and bought some leaf and that, leaf only,
Nice.
and had it sent up to me. So I'm gonna be trying to roll up a few sticks when I get home.
Very cool. That is always a great thing.
Because she knows I've been wanting to try it, and
Of
she
course.
went and bought me, I don't know, I think $500 worth of
Oh, nice. Yeah.
different leaves and binder. Oh,
Very good. Very good. That'll get you started, huh?
now my question to you: do you think rotary cutter would be good enough to do everything?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This right here is like $12. I bought it at Target. It is a Fisker fabric rotary cutter with a 45 millimeter rotary blade. For a long time before I had a nice Chevetta, I did everything with it. It works quite well.
Okay, good to know because I got a few of those at home already.
Yeah, these are my go-to for a lot of what I'm doing. I like to have a Chevetta to do a little bit of work with. The Chevetta for me really shines on the stainless board as well because it just kind of glides on it so well. But just like I was talking about with Adam just a second ago, I really like having multiple options. I like being able to grab just whatever cutter in the moment I want to use. But you could still do everything with a rotary cutter.
Like, I don't even know what kind of tobacco or what kind of leaf or filler, whatever you got me. Because it actually just arrived a few days ago and I haven't been home to.
Well, I would say it's less important at this point to focus on leaf variety and blending and things like that, and more important to focus on learning to roll a good smokable cigar. Because if you can't roll a good smokable cigar, then you could be the best, tobacco blender in the world, but can't make a cigar that smokes good. You can't smoke that blend.
Well, I'm used to using cigars to roll something else, but
Yeah, and that is common for people that say, well, I rolled blunts for 20 years. What's stopping me from rolling cigars? You could carry over a few of the skills, just kind of the use of your hands in a similar fashion will help you to learn the process, but they are quite different. Okay, you're not doing any of this. It's all on the table. Or mostly.
yeah. Well, who knows? I might even start off small, like rolling myself some, what do you call it, cigarillo.
Concept's the same. I don't see any reason to start there if you're trying to get to rolling a cigar. Just roll a cigar. Matter of fact, the cigarillos are harder to bunch because there's less margin for error in the bunch density, unless you're paper molding. And then, if that's the case, it doesn't really matter what the ring gauge is, because it's going to end up as dense as you as you make it with the paper. Right. So, for example, if you are using a mold, the ring gauge is determined by the size of the mold, right? The bunch comes out the size that the mold makes it, which means that the amount of tobacco you put in it, the density of the bunch, determines how well it's going to draw, right? Because if you put too much in there, you can't just make a fatter cigar, because you're putting it in a mold that's going to turn it into whatever size that mold is. So you have a range of what you can get away with, right? And the larger the ring gauge, the larger the range that you can get away with. That cap turned out really, really good. I don't know if you can see that. I haven't figured out how to auto-focus my... That's focused, isn't it? Anyways. So smaller ring gauges, you have less margin for error. By a long shot when you're talking about cigarillos. So if you're going to learn to roll, I would just start with whatever size you like to smoke. 50, 52, 46, whatever. All right. There's a couple right there.
Well, probably
These are the Timeless
I'll probably
Blend.
just do
Beautiful, Jake.
Thank you.